Morning, Bob. This is, or was, the French wing. NX664. The French wing has only 2 ribs remaining. When these are removed, the 2 spines will be taken out of the jig ready for 3D scanning. John and Keith have worked well removing thousands of rivets to get to this stage. I had a comment from John Williams. He said, "Why are they working on the French wing so fastidious, if it will not be airworthy?" Unfortunately, John, they found the wing was in worse condition than they thought. As they were going to fit it to the Lancaster for taxing, running up and down the bumpy grass airfield perhaps would not be safe. But they have found it to be a good learning curve for when they work on the real thing, NX611. So they need to strip it down and rebuild it to a strong and safe condition, but it will not be classed as airworthy.
Morning, Neville.
Good morning.
It's come on a noisy day.
And we'll strip it down. I mean, there's so many of these ribs now all over the place because obviously it's completely stripped down.
Yeah.
We'll just at some point when we get the blaster sorted out, we'll solder blast them all, and then work out which ones need any other repairs for corrosion.
Yeah.
And then probably just put them all back together again as like once they've been blasted and painted.
Yeah. Good. All right, thanks, John.
However long that takes.
Yeah. And that's your, so that is, I can point to it later.
Those are the repairs, yeah. So I made that. That's to replace, because one of those, the one that went there, had just been shattered.
Yeah.
So I've made that, which took some doing. And then the 2 repair pieces. Oh. Yeah, hold on.
That's it.
They go either side of that. And then
They go on the other side, never look at that.
yeah, so that'll go like that.
Yeah. And there's one both sides, is there?
Yeah, we want both sides because I haven't got the same, because we can't make that flange very easily.
Yeah.
We've only got a very small flange on it, so it'll having 2 will give it enough strength.
Yeah.
You wouldn't normally need that. You could repair that just with one repair piece really.
Yeah.
But to make it stronger, I've made 2.
Yeah. Oh, good. Was it the starter motor gearing what had gone on this?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Have they put a new starter motor in as well, or is it?
No, it's the original starter motor and original gears.
Yeah.
The gearing that's above it was very badly worn, and the bush was allowing it to move sideways. So when the starter motor operated, it just didn't do anything.
No.
So now obviously the wheel case has been off, the bush in the gearing has been replaced.
Yeah.
So it should be all good now.
Good.
I'm just trying to piece it back together. This is the magneto.
Oh, that's the magneto.
Yeah, the magneto fits in there. It has a rubber drive as well.
Is there two? There's 2 magnetos, isn't there?
Yeah.
One the other side as well.
Like that. It sort of like cushions the effect, as it were, from the mechanical to the magneto.
Yeah.
So there's one of those each side, and then you have one mag feeding the inlet plugs, and then the other side, which is this side, that mag feeds the exhaust plugs.
Yeah.
So obviously it feeds both banks, but the harness you have to put in really when you before you put the mags on.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you could end up damaging the tubing and that.
And I think the exhaust plugs fire first, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Yeah. It's I couldn't get my head round it. Still can't actually. I thought the inlet.
It's just the way it works. It's exhaust mag first, then the inlet.
Yeah. And the flight, I'd say Brad was telling me, I think they're about 15 or 20 degrees before top dead centre when they go off something. I've got
38 and 45, I think it is.
as much as that. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Although it depends on the mod state of the engine, because the timings have changed over the years, exhaust. But yeah, there's not a lot of difference between them both firing.
No.
But the exhaust fires first.
Yeah.
The supercharger is basically the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it starts producing a tiny bit of boost, but it doesn't produce the biggest stuff until later on, when the clutches bite.
Yeah. Just arrived at East Kirkby. Brad and Sticky are fitting the supercharger to the Lancaster NX611 number 2 engine. Morning. Morning, Brad.
They're on that long stud at the bottom.
Yeah, we need to come down.
Might be a bit too far. Will you?
That's in there at the bottom there. Just put a bit more weight.
I think what we might have to do is just turn the
gears. We got the, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's all
Ready?
Yeah.
That on those, yeah? Got the tube.
That's supposed to really go inside the superchargers. Right, we're tight, let's get a knot on.
Good, I'll let you go and get your special spanner, or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's just for the tightening up the main the nuts. This one here and one behind, which is really where all the air, the pressurised air and fuel comes into the engine.
And you've got to, obviously you've got a seal on the pipe.
Yeah,
And that's what you're tightening up, is it?
Yeah, what there is that ring there, special ring, and then you got like a conical shaped washer, so it's the shape of the washer, the the rubber O-ring inside, and then the O-ring goes against the manifold, as it were, on this side as well.
Yeah.
So when you tighten it up, the washer actually squashes the seal out. Yeah.
Good, a bit more interesting.
But we hope to fit it in on Thursday sometime.
All right, yeah.
Put the engine back in, get it connected up, which won't really be too much of a problem.
So when it gets to March, you'll soon be wanting to do engine runs, will you? Because the taxing starts April.
Towards the middle of March.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Yeah.
Oh, you ripped a lot of the wiring out now,
Well,
haven't
I've
you?
taken all the main wiring out.
This is the wiring as it was in November 2021.
Switches, so if there's a
Video
fault,
124.
Switch that off, and then the system doesn't work then. And they earth switched. And rearrange all the fuses. We should only need down to as far as here, but while it's out, they've actually removed the electrical distribution box that's powering the systems that's used at the minute, and I've just fitted another row of banks in there, which will go to the plug, and that will be rewired into the temporary wiring that's in until I get to rewire the wings. So once that's all completely finished, I can take this bank and this plug out and get rid of it, so it doesn't interfere with anything else.
Will you need that box anymore then?
That box is no longer gone, so all the wiring that was in there has been taken out and put into terminal blocks on the aircraft, and then it'll be powered from that bottom row of fuses now.
It looks a lot neater. Well, not neater, because it was neat before.
It was very neat as well, but it's
not so clustered, is it?
no, but it will be, because we will be using all the fuses except for that bottom bank at the minute. They will all be utilising the rewire.
Yeah, you've only got the main leads in to the fuses, haven't you? You haven't got the output on.
I haven't got the output in yet.
To.
No, because I've got to still design and create all that.
When will you be getting this in?
I'll probably be putting this in tomorrow. Just to say, I've nearly finished wiring up the terminal blocks, and I'm just rewiring up the plug now. That will be connected into it, and then that will come from the side there down into the terminal blocks that I've got on the aircraft ready. So once I've made these up, I'll put this in on the aircraft and then wire that up, and that'll be ready to go.
It should be ready for testing when they're ready. You lettering or numbering these wires?
Yes.
How have you done that this time? With colour coded or?
I've got little numbers to the fuses. What have you? So I've labelled them just sort of 1 to 10 for now. For the ones I need. But on the wiring diagrams, they will have their own references like they have here. And there'll be little ident sleeves at the end of each plug telling you which cable it is.
You won't be actually printing the cable, you're putting the sleeve on.
Just putting a little sleeve on, If I had the machine, I'd print them, because these are printed every 6 to 12 inches. And what you do in the machine, you type in the number it's going to be, and it needs to be 18 inches long, 20 feet long. Program it in, and then it'll just
stamp it
as it goes along, and then cuts a piece off, and then you end up with a bit of cable in, as these are.
But you'll just be putting sleeves on, what, permanently, or will you do that?
Because what I'll do is I've got the little ident sleeves, and then we'll be writing them. Basically just writing that on each end of it then.
So halfway down the loom light, you wouldn't be able to recognise which wire it was till you traced it back to the name tag. Good. That's a bit more interesting stuff.